Hi guys, thanks so much for watching and thank you so much for all of your questions. I'm actually going to answer them in two separate videos. So this video is going to be related to surgery and physical things and food and that sort of thing. And the second video is going to be more like about my life because you guys had a lot of questions about that too. Okay, so we had 148 people enter the giveaway. I just went to random.org and number 93 is our winner. So let's see who that is. Here's everybody who entered. And number 93 is MK Moore. Congratulations! So send me your address and I will send you your air fryer. Now my husband's going to help me with the Q&A.
After surgery, how was the pain? Were you able to walk around or did you take it easy?
I did not have a lot of pain. I was kind of gassy, but I mostly just slept for the first 4 days. I did walk when I was awake, and then on day 5 I just felt fine.
Why didn't you choose the gastric bypass over the sleeve?
Based on the amount of weight I had to lose, my surgeon recommended the sleeve.
How did you get through the hard days and weeks in the beginning?
The beginning went by so quickly, it honestly wasn't very hard for me. I was very motivated by the amount of weight I was losing.
How have you found your hair growth after surgery?
I lost a lot of hair between months 4 and 6, but after that, it's been back to normal.
You posted about your hormones being out of whack. Have they leveled off?
Honestly, not really. My gynecologist regularly tests me for a whole lot of things. My periods are still much longer than they used to be before surgery, and she's changing my birth control currently, so I'm still a little all over the place.
Any tips on how to break a stall?
If you know you're doing everything right, keep at it. If you're not sure if you're doing everything right, make sure you go back to tracking every single thing that you eat, at least for like a week, and that might be revealing. Also, don't forget your water.
What type of questions should I ask the surgical team?
Leading up to surgery, maybe ask about what the long-term plan is. I think immediately after surgery, it's kind of the same for everybody for the most part, but try to get a good understanding of what the long-term is going to be like.
How do you deal with the "what are you doing" question?
I'm a secret sleever, so I tell people diet and exercise, which is true, and that's it.
Have you done the 5-day pouch test?
I have not. I've done some occasional fasts, like 24-hour fasts or so, but it's not my favorite thing to do. I have not done a 5-day pouch reset.
Did you do anything special with friends or family in the weeks leading up to your surgery?
No, I was living alone leading up to surgery, so no.
What is the biggest, most important piece of advice you would like pre-op WLS patients to heed?
Keep in mind that not all progress is physical or measurable on the scale.
What would you change about your WLS journey if you had your time again?
I would not have had all those food funerals, and I would have actively tried to lose more weight before surgery.
Do you have any loose skin after weight loss? And if so, have you ever thought of removing it?
My legs are okay, my belly's a little jiggly, my arms have a lot of loose skin and I don't like it, but I don't scar well. Like my scars are very dark even from my VSG, so I don't think I want big noticeable scars on my arms either, so I don't know.
How has your weight loss group advised you to eat so you won't lose more weight than you feel comfortable with?
I have not changed my eating at all, and I have just stopped losing weight, which is how I knew I was in maintenance. I haven't increased calories or anything like that.
What are your plans to sustain in your maintenance range to help prevent regain?
I definitely plan to continue tracking and keep my macros the same for now.
Do you track what you eat in maintenance?
Yeah, still tracking every day.
Do you plan on doing keto forever now that you're in maintenance, or are you nervous that once you stop doing it, that you're going to start gaining?
I do think if I stopped keto, I would gain, but I don't want to stop keto just because I feel really good on it. I think my body responds really well to it. I feel like long and lean and anti-bloated and energetic, and I really like the way I feel on it.
How do you see the mental shift from losing to maintaining affecting your weight loss journey?
I definitely feel like this is just the beginning of the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I am finally in a place where it kind of feels like smooth sailing. I finally feel like I can just live my life and keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully everything will be okay.
What are some things you notice your body doing when you eat off plan?
If I eat real carby, I feel very gassy, very bloated, sluggish and tired. If I just like go over on calories, I feel heavy. You know, now that I'm thinner, I notice changes to my body much more than I used to. So even a little bit of going off plan is very noticeable to me.
How do you get back on track when you've lost your motivation?
If I'm off track, I probably don't feel very well. I've noticed that physically I don't feel well if I eat poorly, and so that motivates me to get back on track.
Would you say it's more difficult to maintain a steady balance with eating and working out and keeping the weight off, or losing the excess weight?
I think I'm in the minority here, but I feel like losing the weight was the hard part. Now I feel like I'm in a really good, sustainable place and I can just keep on keeping on. And I feel like I can do this forever. So, I mean, my thoughts on this might change. Ask me again a year from now. But for now, I feel like this is easier than the weight loss was.
What's your best tip for actually reaching one's own goal, your definition of health, and what point to start maintenance?
I think it's important to make the connection of mentally with physically of why you're doing what you're doing, right? So it's not just to get to a lower weight or to see a lower number on the scale, but it's to actually feel better, to feel healthier, to feel stronger, to feel more energetic. So like really actively having that connection in the forefront of your mind all the time, that's what's really helped me get to where I am.
What have you found to be the most challenging mentally and or physically?
I guess playing with the macro balance. You know, initially my dietitian had recommended a low carb diet of under 100 grams of carbs per day. And I was, as you might remember, very hesitant to go lower than that. So just experimenting with different things until I really found what worked for me. And now I find in the range of like 20 to 30 net carbs, I feel really good. So the hardest part has been experimenting when you think you already have something that works for you.
Now that you've reached your goal, do you feel like you could have done this without the sleeve?
No. I used to wonder about that all the time before surgery. I was like, do I need it? Do I not? And now I am 100% confident that I could not have done this without the sleeve.
Have you ever during your journey felt discouraged? And if so, what are some things you did to get past those emotions and feelings?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really hard to break out of that mentality of eating for comfort. And I definitely still eat for pleasure, but I'm aware of how it affects my body. And so if I had a bad day, it's hard to not think like, just screw it, I'm just going to continue eating poorly. So that has definitely been difficult, but just remembering that every bite, every meal is another chance to get it right and to do what's good for your body.
What are holidays like now that you've had the sleeve?
Fine, great. I'm definitely still a foodie. I definitely still enjoy food, just in smaller portions.
Do you think that a person who is an emotional eater can still do well with weight loss through VSG?
Yes. VSG is a great tool to help you address overeating. However, if you're an emotional eater and you have a hard time dealing with your emotions, what happens is that you are forced to actually deal with those emotions. So you'll have to address the root of the problem and not the emotional eating. And that's hard to do, but that's what you have to do to have weight loss success.
From inside looking out, do you still expect to see the old you in the mirror?
Yeah, absolutely. I every day forget that this is what I look like.
What, if anything, did your weight hold you back from doing?
I think I was very much in denial about my weight, and maybe that's good or maybe it's bad, but I don't really feel like my weight held me back from much before.
Have your personal relationships changed since your WLS?
Not really. Not a lot of people know that I had surgery, but and I don't have a whole lot of friends anyway, but the friends I do have are good and kind and happy for me, and so no, it hasn't really affected my relationships.
Do you feel that living so far from home, where there is such extreme cold weather, has negatively impacted your journey?
Yes, definitely. I'm not accustomed to this kind of cold. I mean, I've only been living in New Jersey for about 2.5 years, and it's long and miserable and depressing, the winter. And that doesn't really put you in a good frame of mind to make good choices and to live a healthy life. Like it's like an extra hurdle you have to overcome. So yeah, it's definitely been harder, I think, than if I were just living in a warm other place.
Did your taste change after surgery? And if so, what do you love to eat now that you hated before?
I never hated any foods before. I'm not a picky eater and I love all foods. However, I'm much more sensitive to like overly sweet things. For example, I used to love Reese's peanut butter cups, and since surgery I've tried them a couple of times and they're just like disgustingly sweet to me now, unfortunately. But I do still like a chocolate peanut butter combination of flavors, so I try to do that with like sugar-free chocolates and nut butters, almond butters. Like I like that combination still, just not the like artificially overly sweet stuff.
Have you had any issues eating seafood after VSG?
No, I eat seafood almost every day. I love it.
I noticed in your What I Eat in a Day videos, you mostly stick to the same foods. Is that because it's easier, or is there another reason?
It definitely is easier, but also because I have found that that's what allows me to hit my macros and feel satiated. Sometimes I play around with different foods and I do eat different things, but I kind of run the risk of hitting my macros but still feeling hungry, and then you have to adjust. And I mean, I'll do that, but for the most part, I try to stick to what I know works.
Why don't you have an air fryer?
I have a gazillion kitchen appliances and a very small kitchen, so I wasn't sure I really needed one, but I feel like I do.
What would you cook in the air fryer now, and what would you have wanted to cook in it before your surgery?
Chicken wings, before and after.
Have you ever taken a culinary class?
I have not, but my mom took a lot of culinary classes when she was younger, and like French bakery classes and things like that. So I feel like I grew up learning her like technical skills and her love of being in the kitchen.
What is your favorite place to eat out and still stay on track with your weight loss?
Sushi. It's perfect. It's small portions. It's low calorie. You can just peel the rice off, and it's so delicious.
What is your go-to food?
Nuts. Any kind of nuts. Almonds, cashews, peanuts. Love them.
Do you have any favorite websites you like to order from for your low-carb eating?
Oh, like products? I love the Goodies baking mixes. I really love the legendary nut butters. I love Chalk Zero cups and sauces, syrups. I'll link a few things in the description box for you.
Which websites do you suggest with a lot of recipes?
My favorite ones are Peace, Love, and Low Carb and Keto Connect.
What is your favorite low-carb chicken-based recipe?
I like to do chicken with lots of different dips. I find that people don't talk about dips, but they're so versatile and often have really good macros. So we'll just go to the dip section in the grocery store and pick out different ones and mix that with some rotisserie chicken or chicken thighs and mix and match that way.
What is your go-to healthier dessert option?
I really have been on a kick with these legendary keto pecan pie muffins. I'll link that above if you like. I also like doing this like a cream cheese mousse thing. It's 8 ounces of cream cheese, a half cup of sour cream, a couple drops of vanilla, and erythritol to taste to like make it sweet. I just blend that up and keep some of it like in the refrigerator, and I have a spoonful or two for dinner often. I mean like with dinner, and that's really good.
Can you share some of your favorite healthy recipes?
Yeah, I have a playlist in my channel for recipes that I've filmed before, so I will link that above for you also.
Do you have a site where you have all your recipes together?
No, because I don't really create recipes too often. I mostly just follow recipes that I find. Like I said, Peace, Love, and Low Carb and Keto Connect are my 2 favorites. Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, thanks so much.